All right, so we're joined by Travin. How's it going, man?
It's good. Just got my presentation out. I was quite stressed out about it yesterday.
Yeah,
Nice.
you happy with it?
Except for one flub.
Yeah.
I'm overall quite happy with it.
Cool. What'd you talk about?
I talked about immigration problems, the dehumanizing effects of how immigration systems are today. Not
Dehumanizing, like calling people aliens. probably don't like that very much, yeah.
Yeah.
Or illegal
Illegals.
alien. That's much worse.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. So what else did you talk about though?
Yeah, just the problems that I've had, having lived in about 8 countries. I went over 7 of them.
Wow.
Just the problems of each one, and then also about just general tourism. Like, for most people around the world, when they travel and they need a visa to go somewhere, or they get questioned like ESTA or whatever, which would, by the way, be a miracle for me to just require ESTA and not get questioned and have to give my entire flight history over. The
I had an amazing time actually when we came into Prague here. The lady didn't even ask me any questions. She kind of looked at me. She scanned my passport for a long time, like the scanner didn't work or something. And then she looked at her screen for a long time, so I can only assume it said visited Europe, left, visited Europe, left, visited Europe, left, because they want you to leave. That's the important part. You can't stay forever, and especially in England, they don't want you to stay forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, and she didn't even say anything to me, so that was pretty nice.
That's the literal opposite of what happens to me. But yeah, no, even just as going as a tourist, I have to prove, one, that I'm not going to commit a crime in that place. It's
How do you prove that?
police records,
Oh, okay, good enough.
an actual
Fair.
police clearance.
So over time of not committing crimes ensures you won't commit future crimes.
Apparently so.
Locked it in.
And but also I have to prove that I'm not gonna illegally immigrate, because Filipinos get this reputation of being illegal immigrants. So they're always like, okay, do you have enough money in your bank account? Do you have a business? What do you do? What will bring you back? What won't make you stay here?
Well, I did get some of that in England. In England, I didn't have a return trip one time.
Oh.
And they were not happy to hear that. They were like, they gave me the same third degree you're talking about. How much money do you have? What do you do? They almost asked me like, are you good at it? I was like, I'm an IT specialist. And they're like, are you good at it? Are people going to hire you? You're freelance. Like, is it going to work? And I'm like, all this concern about my business. I'll be okay, guys. I got some saved up money. Like, things aren't that bad. Couple more months, maybe, But
Yeah.
I think that the interesting thing that you said yesterday about the fact that you've traveled so many times and you've successfully, albeit with a huge obstacle course along your way, obtained visas, gone into a country, gone out of the country.
Yeah.
And there's been no issue.
Yeah.
And even after 15, 20 times, they're still giving you that same level of questioning.
Yes.
So, and maybe, you shouldn't have got questioned that level from the start, but seeing someone who definitely isn't just going to try and, go in as an illegal alien, as it were, and it's just crazy. I think it's just over the top.
Yeah, no, it's insane. I've proven time and time again, as you said, and not just to one country, but multiple countries around the world, that I've followed the rules.
Yeah.
I've left. Mm-hmm. That's what they're worried about.
That's what
let's
they're
be
worried
honest.
about. They want you to leave, yeah.
Yeah. And still, I get questioned every time. I'm going through the border again in a few weeks. I'm ready to be questioned 4 times before I leave the airport.
Sure.
Because I have to transit through the United States. And I know that when I'm going to transit through there, and they're going to ask me like, oh, how long are you going to be in the United States for? 4 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe longer if there's a delay, and they'll still ask me the questions over and over again.
Sure, yeah.
Because I could actually go outside because I have American visa as well, which I need, because apparently I don't know fully, but I think I would need a transit visa to just even fly through the United States. I do for the UK if Brexit happens.
Jeez.
So what could be done about this? What's the solution to this? Universal ID, global government, trusted human system? I don't know.
Well, I hope not global government, but it's a question actually that you asked yesterday with regards to how cryptocurrency can help with this. I mean, with the blockchain out there, it's a record, and let's just say maybe in the future it could be like, I'm not saying that I've thought this through, I was just like an idea thinking out loud. An immigration authority of, let's say, here in the Czech Republic has a transaction to me on an account that I've proven is mine. Mm-hmm. Ideally without any other Bitcoin. That way, in case that gets lost, I don't lose it. And included in that transaction is some data that says, okay, this person has a visa valid until this date, is legal to reside done. And, whenever I go through instead, I can just show that, I have this without having to carry, I have it, this around every single time.
Sure.
And, it's not safe for me to carry this around. In the Philippines, we're not allowed to have more than one passport. Unless you have another nationality, it's fine. But you can't have more than one. If I lose this, in here are 10 visas.
Whoa.
10! I don't know where the camera is, but I'm not going to show them. But,
No. Yeah.
So, have you thought about trying to become a citizen in, say, a European country to get a European passport? Or is that just literally a...
Yes. That was the plan from, 10 years ago. The first one was to the United States. Gave up on that after the immigration just didn't work out.
Yeah.
Went for Austria. Didn't work out. Temporarily went to Svalbard and then tried Spain. Law firm stole my money. And then, having some issues here. I can't talk about that too much at the moment, but I can say there are issues here.
Sure.
But no, that's what I've been looking to do. I've also looked into buying citizenship somewhere. I don't have the money for that at the moment. Maybe if Bitcoin goes back up again, and I might start looking into it more.
Well,
but
even after Roger bought that St. Kitts citizenship, I think they tripled the price of St. Kitts citizenship.
Oh,
'cause
really?
They could see that there was more people out there that would be able to afford it. So they, as a money-raising proposition, I think they raised their fees.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think before it was $250,000 already, so that was already a lot. And
at least 500,000 to 750 now. So you got to save up longer if you're waiting.
yeah. But yeah, it's insane that like I'm looking for these, just basic stuff. Actually, like one thing I didn't say in my presentation, when I left the Philippines, honestly, all I wanted was just like a chill life and one where, I didn't want an adventure.
Yeah.
This adventure was kind of forced upon me,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed some parts of it and gives me stories to tell, but it's not what I set out to do. And yeah, settling down was my number one goal, and it's just been evading me every time.
Well, it's the pain is that you just want to get on with your life and get on with your working and what you want to do without having to go through these these red tape hoops and prove yourself each time. And I think that's it. Like we've got governments that we can't I can't trust. Like, certainly the UK government can't trust them for shit. But at the same, like they show complete no trust in in other people. And I think that we need to be a bit more logical about these assessments and not kind of going back to for someone who's proven time after time that they've not screwed the system. That's a good person. That's the key candidate. That's the person you want.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is some of that already in place. Like for example, I would need a visa to go to Romania for TCCon, where all three of us are going to be.
Yep.
But because I have a long-term visa for here in the Czech Republic, I don't need that visa. So they actually identified as like, okay, if you have that, then you're fine. So there are some areas like that, right? But it's not enough. It's not enough. There needs to be much more. And because countries don't communicate with each other, and I hope it doesn't take a global government to get to that. I really hope it doesn't, but
It's the simplest solution.
yeah, it's a simple solution of just honestly just collaboration. They already do that.
Yeah.
They already do that. They just need to honestly just take it one step further. That's it. But they're not. I mean, 5 years ago, I had to carry around, I don't even remember, but at least 10 sheets of A4 paper stapled to my passport when I was living in the United States.
Yeah.
I think like 3 pages were to enter, 3 pages were to stay, 3 pages were to enter my degree, another 3 pages were to get my first job, the other 3 pages was to get my work permit after. I mean, passport was like this thick.
Yeah.
And all that is like, you already have that in the database.
Sure.
The only country that's going to care about these documents is you.
Yeah.
And you already have this. Why do I need to carry this around? It's a simple solution. It's easy, but it took a while. It's only now that they've actually fixed it.
And they really just need a database. They don't need a blockchain.
Yeah.
They don't need a shared all these things. So many of these problems could be solved by just having a database and having access to the database and controlled access, and that would be it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's still step 1 of digitization.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of them are just skipping by database, going to blockchain, and then later on they'll be like, "We found an incredible way to do blockchain cheaper. It's called database. It's amazing." we'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah.
So what are you working on now, Travin? Anything need to tell the people about? Yeah?
Oh, quick thing. The video looks like it's...
That one's been dead. The other one's dead too.
Oh, shoot. So it's just audio right now?
I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Actually, I'm not working on anything specific right now. My last project went bankrupt, unfortunately.
Aww.
It was the wallet thing. I'm still trying to do some consulting stuff here and there, but it's not building something specifically. Actually, the immigration problems have caused me contracts.
No.
I have literally had a potential client say that you need to fix your immigration problem and be long term before we sign a contract with you because you're considered a risk. Again, that was just so painful to hear, but at the same time, I understand them. Look, I'm not blaming them for that.
Yeah.
Because if I have to leave, then it ruins the project, and they need to find a replacement and so forth.
Sure.
But yeah, it's hard for me to get stuff going properly with this that's there.
That's another ridiculous thing about this, the whole sort of immigration situation, is that you also want to work, but you are like, you're a good immigrant. You want to migrate. You want to live in another country. You want to work, and it's actually just stopping you from even doing that. And that's what's sad, is that people, a lot of the resistance is like, oh, people only come over because they want the benefit system or whatever. But the people who actually want to come over and work are being forced into a situation where they can't actually even work. So it's
And I'm self-employed. I'm not taking a job away from somebody.
Yeah.
And my clients are worldwide. So it's not like I'm even competing with local businesses that much. So I'm essentially a money machine for these places, and I still go through all of these problems. But even who people who are not, like people who are having actual jobs and like specialists for something, like we can't find somebody else to do that specific thing. I mean, we could, but then he or she's taken by the other company, so we need this guy. And I couldn't fill the slot because my passport.
And ultimately, the business in the country is missing out of a good resource, and therefore the country's missing out on the tax because of it. So it's like, working system.
My company in the States, it was a startup I worked with, and then they gave me shares, made me essentially like a partner, and I was heading a department. Actually, we had about 5 people, Americans, and then we created a platform that provided as a job essentially for about almost 100 Americans. I had to leave the U.S. because I couldn't get a visa for that, and some of those operations crumbled, and I laid off 5 Americans.
It's just so funny to hear, because so many times people are on about immigrants don't work, or they don't want to work, or they want to get Social Security or welfare or something, which is awful. Why would you want that? It's not enough money to live on. But then you have someone that actually wants to work, that is trained and talented and ready to go, and even then the system can't seem to get you in and to get the system solved. So
it's insane. I'm not some of my friends were lucky they were able to get the visa. But it was insane. Like, I was talking with not the main lawyer that I referenced in my presentation, but another lawyer. They just looked and said, "Do you have $500,000 in cash?" It's like, "No." He's like, "Because that's the business visa. You need $500,000 in cash, or $1 million because you're in tech."
What?
It's insane.
I wouldn't buy that one. I'd save up. I hear that in Spain, if you buy a house that's worth $1 million, you get to stay there. So I would rather get the house than just a piece of paper for the money. So gotta
Portugal
find
as
one
well.
of those. Yeah, or one of the. And there's some cheaper countries too that have cheaper houses. That might be a good idea.
Yeah.
But you got to save up a lot for those. So anything else going on? Are you going to make a speech again at TCConf, or any other speeches planned for the future?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about Bitcoin and how it kind of fits into a decentralized ecosystem that's not just Bitcoin, because there's been a lot of decentralized stuff that's been going on, with open source collaboration, especially without Bitcoin being involved, and now with Bitcoin being involved in the space and being able to transact value, essentially, it just is a huge game changer. And there are things that a lot of people maybe aren't noticing because they're not raising hundreds of millions in ICO, and some that people maybe have not fully realized the potential of it. I mean, I'm not saying that I did the business research and say, okay, it's profitable if you do this in this country and that, but it's ideas to talk about, and hopefully then Bitcoin gets more used in that sense.
And Bitcoin, I suppose, one way that cryptocurrency has helped, or possibly has helped your immigration situation, is the fact that you don't have to answer all those questions about like moving money across borders, because it's in a 12 or 24 word seed in your head.
I actually do.
Oh, you do?
Yep,
Oh,
because all my crypto is earned. I haven't bought crypto since 2013, and all of that's gone already. All of my crypto is tracked with taxes, and I actually had to, because otherwise I'd be double taxed.
Yeah.
I don't pay any capital gains tax on my crypto because I say, look, I already paid my income tax on it. Yeah. The same thing that happened when I was living in Svalbard, and I brought that crypto to the Czech Republic, and they said like, hey, what's this? And I said, it's money that I earned, and I already paid taxes on it. Here's my tax form. Yeah. So unfortunately, I don't get that benefit, although it is a benefit that other people could have. Yeah. But it's unfortunately one that I can't do because I need a paper trail, because they're gonna ask me at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, the Norwegian government owes me money. No, yeah. They made me pay taxes for months that I didn't live there. Tried to get it back. Nope, they didn't give it back. Also, I didn't answer a survey despite not living there, and they charged me a huge fee for it. Huh. Yeah, about 500 euro something.
Well, we'll have to contact the King of Norway right away. We'll get him on that, or Jorgensen, whatever his name is. But we're going to take a quick 5-minute break and check on the stream. Everyone be sure to stay here on the World Crypto Network, and we'll be right back.